to your mind when I say that?
My childhood, and man, it just brings back like peace. You know, like for me, it was a place of tranquility. You know, it felt like a paradise. You know, to me, and yeah. Now what comes to mind is like, you know, the how it is, the conditions, and
Do you have family down there?
yeah, most of them are like construction workers, and they have very like
The
welfare.
skills.
Yeah, and when it comes to my dad's side of the family, we own a decent amount of land that we have our own like natural well. So they're lucky in that sense. You know, they still have running water. We still don't got electricity where I'm from. Yeah.
What's the name of the place you're from?
I'm from Jabucoa. I think the meaning is like the indigenous meaning was something about yams, the land of yams, something like that. Yeah, I think a lot of us just feel like they're not doing as much as possible, but then it brings somewhat a pride within us, the Puerto Rican community, because I feel a lot of us have done something to help Puerto Rico. And in that sense, you know, we kind of like gave up on the government, but we haven't gave up on the people. Because I don't know if you know, like in Puerto Rico, there's more Puerto Rican outside Puerto Rico than inside. So I think a lot of Puerto Ricans, by giving and donating water and stuff like that, had helped Puerto Rico.
Did you hold a fundraiser?
Well, it was my brother whose garage is the garage right there downstairs. So he rents here as well, and he knows some people from Holyoke and Springfield that they have their own like there's like a community center, something like that he knows from Holyoke, and then people from Holyoke and Springfield start collecting water. But the thing that they needed was someone to bring it from Massachusetts to Puerto Rico. Yeah, and a lot of those people were from the same area we're from. So what we did was collect all their water and all the clothes and all the food that they gather, get our part or all our food and all our stuff, and we united that. And then we my two older brothers got a shipping container. We filled it up first with water, and then with food, and then with clothes, and then we send it to Puerto Rico. It got there like I think in a week, and then what we did that we felt was gonna get to the like our people, like our community.
Yeah.
So we could feel assured that was gonna happen. My two older brothers ended up going to Puerto Rico, getting the shipping container, and bringing it to our town, because that's one of the main problems we heard a lot. Like shipping container was getting there, but no drivers.
Right.
So my brother made sure, my oldest brother made sure there was like one of his friends who's a truck driver over there in Puerto Rico. He made sure he got in contact with them and got that shipping container all the way to our town. I feel like the government that is in power now in Puerto Rico is similar to the one in here.
Yeah.
It's PNP. You know, they're like the Republican Party of Puerto Rico. And I feel a lot of PNP people are just focused on the money.
That's who's in power now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at the main
Ricardo.
Rosselló.
He's PNP?
PNP. Like,
okay.
They're the ones that want Puerto Rico to become a state of the United States.
Okay.
They want the United States to step up to the plate in the way that make us a state, make us part of you.
So do Puerto Ricans want to become a state, or do they want to become an independent country?
I think it's split in the middle.
50% of Americans didn't know that Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens.
Yeah. That's something I had to deal with all my life, trying to explain to people. Yeah. And it's like, it's complicated because it's like, where do you stand? What do you call yourself? Because it's like, it becomes a thing of, what are you? Are you part of the United States? And I always be like, no, it's a Commonwealth. But people that are against the idea of Commonwealth, the idea, they always say it's a colony. So then you have, I always tend to stay in the middle just to keep peace.
Yes.
And then it's like, when it comes to the different parties in Puerto Rico, the one that is in the middle, the Democrat one, believe that it's a Commonwealth. But the people who want to be independent say it's a colony. And the people who want to be part of like a state also say it's a colony, because they kind of want to be like, oh, it's bad, become a state. Oh, this is bad, let's step away. Let's become independent.
Said like about 100,000 people have already left the island and may never return. It'll be curious to see which party survives.
Yeah.
I mean,
honestly, I think it's like people are going towards statehood.
Okay.
You know, but that's the people in power. But I think people like the younger crowd, the more millennial crowd, I feel they are kind of like aiming for independency, but their parents or like the people in power right now are still trying to keep the old stuff in. Like what's happening here in America. Puerto Rico has become somewhat of what United States is. You know, we're in debt.
Yeah.
And both.
We're fighting.
Yeah, we're fighting.
We have a crumbling infrastructure.
Yeah.
Do you have a little mistrust of the government that's running Puerto Rico right now? Because if they did wipe the debt out, would you have more confidence, or would you still be a little...
They probably put on another debt.
Yeah.
Like that's, I don't know. Like I remember when I was living in Puerto Rico, one of the things one of the mayors would do is like, he would just make new pavement every year. And the road will even grow a little. And it's like, but like every year he was coming to like his, like the election, all he did was like, oh, let's build the roads again. Let's make the road. But it was not a great job. But he, you know, and then I feel like that's the government in Puerto Rico. It's like, there's not, a lot of people just putting money in their pockets instead of helping the community, you know.
I didn't realize that one of the major employers down there is pharmaceuticals companies.
Yeah. And like they get paid good, but it's like everybody, I felt when I was living there, a lot of people was aiming for those jobs. Right. And not everybody get those jobs, you know? Yeah. The people that do, they take good care of them, you know? They make sure they don't lose that job. Some PMPs have a great idea, and I kind of like the idea of becoming a state, but at the same time, it's like the only thing that kind of bothers me about the statehood is that what will happen to Puerto Rico, because I feel Puerto Rico will lose its culture, you know, because if we become a state, we have to, I feel like by law, speak English first, because we're a state. And now it's like, I feel like one of the things that make Puerto Rico unique is that a lot had to do with our language as well, because we speak a lot of Spanglish words, and we have our own kind of culture that's been building up for many years, you know. Like race in our culture is way different than race and culture here. And I think it's because we adapt into every culture that comes to Puerto Rico. mindset is different than here in the United States. When I was living in Puerto Rico, I felt like everybody could be Puerto Rican, you know? Mm-hmm. Because you can never tell what a Puerto Rican really is.
Right.
Like, you look Puerto Rican.
Thank you.
Jordy looked Puerto Rican.
Nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
You know, I have family members who are like different, you know, shades of skin color.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when when I was growing up in Puerto Rico, like my mom used to teach me, like, we come from these three, the main three identity. We identify ourselves as like African, European, and Native.
Well, there is an element where not everyone's allowed to be American, which is the opposite of what you're saying for Puerto Rico. Everybody in Puerto Rico can be Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
But in America, not everybody can be American.
Yeah, even if they was born here, it's like, yeah.
Can you tell me how you felt when Trump threw the paper towels? I mean, honestly.
I felt very disgusted, but at the same time, kind of amused. I don't know why. Because, like, why? Come on. I don't.
Is that like amused in I'm so shocked?
Yeah, it's so
amusing.
Yeah, it's amusing. How is this possible? Like, come on.
If people want to donate or help Puerto Rico, which organization do you trust most for people to donate to? Or do you know? I mean,
I don't really. Well, I know this Sociedad Latina that's helping people that come from Puerto Rico.
What is it?
Sociedad Latina here in Boston.
Okay.
They're helping people. When people come to Puerto Rico, they help them find like a place to stay and food and water and stuff like that. So that's a good foundation. But in terms of those big corporations or big foundations, I don't know. That's another thing that I recommend if anybody has family in Puerto Rico, just send your family supplies, food and supplies they need. You know, because a lot of things, I think that's the way it's working right now. Like, a lot of people just helping their own family, and I think if you can't find a group of people that you could bring stuff over there, just send it yourself. You know, the way I see it is like, you know, you ever seen Castaway? Where Tom Hanks,
heard of it.
Yeah. He's alone on an island.
Yeah, I know the premise.
Yeah, so I feel like Puerto Rico is in that same situation. Like, we feel like we're cast away, but in the same time, it's like, you know, if you at least help people in Puerto Rico, they don't have to abandon the island. You know, and I feel like when we if we start abandoning the island more and more, I feel like there's vultures who gonna take plots of land that was from people from Puerto Rico, and I feel like that's my biggest scare of all, and that and like losing our culture. Yeah.
Kelvin, thank you.
Thanks, Kristina.
You're awesome.